All right, welcome back to the 80 Star Basketball Channel, the only star basketball channel talking about the rare stuff today. So today I kind of wanted to break away from all the MJ and the auction and the prices to kind of get back to some of the ones that I just love and have gotten a little more into recently. But I was into them before, but now it's just kind of like coming back. And now that I've kind of shifted over and getting bags and more of the rarer things and kind of a little more focusing on that. So it's been more kind of been more fun to get back into, and I've picked up a little tidbits along the way. So one of the whole reasons I did this video is because I sold one of these KOCH Moncriefs. And by the way, if I'm selling something, there's a 99.99% chance that I have a duplicate of it. So that's kind of what I've been doing is I'm getting rid of some of my duplicates to try and get some get some ammo for the other stuff, or kind of justify the other stuff a little easier that I don't have, and goals that goals that I'm after. So I this is also going to be the first time I'm doing a video where I actually have the same things up for sale. So it's not any type of pump. It's just something that again, I have duplicates. I want to keep the cards. And it's not any type of thing that you should be selling these. Matter of fact, I think for the people, most people are going to be watching are going to recognize these and know, but there's a few who don't. And I've done a video on it before, but I'm going to focus on two today, which is the KOCH Moncrief and the Best of the Old set. So one little interesting tidbit before I get started, almost a house cleaning thing. I did send an email, and this is totally unrelated, but for people who've been asking, and I did send an email to actually Nat Turner, and on one question, and it said, "Are bags going to start being graded?" And his answer was that he cannot confirm anything. So that left me completely. I can't really go one way or another with that, but that is what he said. If anything, I'm still kind of leaning that they're working on it, and that it is more of a possibility and not than not. That is my that's kind of my takeaway. That could be wrong, but obviously we've been hearing rumors for a while, and it's just never come up. So again, partially going back to the Koch real quick, I'm actually going to start with the best of old, but this was the whole reason I did this video was I sold one, and the demand for the card was shockingly strong. I had five people who were it sold very quickly. I put it up for a price of 450. I was going to do 550, and it's one of the two graded, but it sold very fast, and that I kind of took me by surprise. The rarer star stuff, I think the demand is very high, and it has grown really strong in this last year. So that is one thing that kind of took me by surprise, that five people wanted it for my ask, almost as soon as they saw it. So it leads me to believe that I probably had it. I'll give you my price prediction later, but I was very undervalued on this card. So to whomever got it, great pickup. So again, I'm going to now transition over to the best of the old, and talking about these cards. So the best of the old set. This is the rarest. I did not cover this in my sets before, but this is the rarest bag set that there is. And this is they produced. They talk about it right here. So this is the best of the old. It was basically there were four cards in the best of the new, four cards in the best of the old. And these bag sets, the best of the new was produced. They say it's probably to have about 4,000, and as it says right here, and I'm looking at starbasketball.com, starbasketballcards.com, and but they do talk that the supply was about 1/10 for the best of the old. Why they did that, I do not know. The only thing I can kind of think is that either Levin wanted to make rarity, or basically saw that there was almost no demand. So if from my understanding, if you bought the complete sets, for every 5 sets that you bought, these basically were a giveaway to you. So that was the you got a bag set. Obviously, the best of the old was not dispersed as much because I kept hearing that there's 400 sets, but the stated release of 440 sets make this by far the kind of the lowest bag produced. They say for the Mavericks that it's somewhere around 800. That's just rumor hearing it, but it's definitely less than 1,000 that were produced for the 83 Dallas Mavericks. And that's a base set. So the demand is going to be higher. And that particular set is kind of I want to call it legendary. Love the Mavericks, but this is quite a bit rarer. And as far as bags coming up for sale, these are once a year kind of spot, if that. So you know kind of be on the lookout. They can come up, maybe a couple times a year, but it's definitely it's going to be a pricey item, as the bags are definitely rarer and just harder to pick up than the singles. But I will look at pop reports in a second. And but I did want to say this is kind of the thing to look at, as far as the sets are concerned in the bags. But here it is in an uncut glory. I love this. So this shows me that it was at the bottom of the sheet. I did not know that. And I got this off of the group. There's a guy named Tom, and was an old dealer, and he puts up these uncut sheets. That's how I got the picture of this KOCH Moncrief. And he puts these up. So thanks, Tom, for showing that, and actually got some other good pieces of information that I'll share later in different videos. But this is really cool to see it in uncut sheets. So at the bottom, by 85, these being produced, Levin and Star started getting their quality much higher. So you actually see the cuts on these better. These are generally better condition than something like an 83. The cards or the centering gets a little bit better and whatnot. So it's really cool to kind of see that they do come out better later on, and they kind of get graded a little higher. So let's look at the pop report for these. I looked up, it doesn't have the numbers. And for PSA, we're looking at, kind of they're like at 15 right here, and 15 for the Irving. And the Gervin, sorry, is at 11, which I thought was interesting, and 10. So down here for the Walton, apparently the Walton is a little harder. So I put 2 cards up, and I'll show those really quick. So this was my post that I posted up, and I still have these 2 for sale, and the Gervin hasn't sold yet. So, but the Walton sold very quickly. Actually, I had 2 people follow up on it. The Moncrief sold faster, even at a 7.5 with this little print dot. But this is still out there, and for a PSA, because I'm also trying to kind of gauge what demand is. But as far as looking at pop reports and everything, I did notice that we have 11 and 10 and 15 and 15, and then going over to Beckett, I saw that right over here we show it 50, 49, and 72 and 58. So the Kareem and kind of going in this order, probably is just going down the bag order. And this 49 plus 11, the Gervin is actually the lowest pop, but it's also, he's probably I want to quote unquote the less of the Hall of Famers, because Bill Walton was a bigger name, and Kareem and Dr. J, obviously. But he also has the lowest pop. So that was something that I noticed and thought was a little bit interesting, that the Walton and the Gervin were lower than the other 2. But they do have the bag sets, which I thought was interesting for the new, but that's for the best of the new. So I believe that's what complete new sealed bag, or it might be for the meaning new as in factory seal, but I'm kind of reading that as new, best of the new, but not sure there. but there's 9 of them that they did have graded. So, kind of looking at a pop total, well under 100 for a couple of these on the Walton and the Gervin. But, kind of getting a little bit closer to 100 for the other two at, kind of 70s and looks like about 90, close to 90 for the Dr. J. So I did want to share that. And then looking at, let's go over to the Moncrief over here. Let's go back to this guy. And I did want to show him off in back over here on my, the back of this. So this one's a little interesting to me. Again, I saw the demand was really high. These, you used to be able to pick these up for like $50 to $75, but they've just skyrocketed since kind of Star has skyrocketed and higher demand. And the back of this card is really, really cool. So it's just different. The fact that it was a sample card, this card becomes incredibly unique. And again, showing it, what was really interesting to me was to see it on, this 83 uncut sheet. This was the placement. And they talk about it over here, which is similar to how the Lanier was done over here. So on my uncut sheets, it shows you here is the Lanier down here, the Lanier error, and it's a one-off. Like it's down here, and they just kind of, I guess, just printed out a few of them. It's kind of a bad angle, but here it is right here. But, for the uncut sheets, there's kind of this one-off card that you have that sometimes you got with Star. It happened with the Nolan Ryan Star card on the, there was another 85 sheet with the best of the, or the last 11 and Rookie of the Year cards for Jordan. And there's a Nolan Ryan card. It's just this one-off. So you got these one-offs that were printed and just not distributed, it seems like, or very low distribution, and the rest probably destroyed, is my guess. And or it could be a variation on the uncut sheet, I'm not sure. But as far as looking at the back, it has a big sample on it, and it's just kind of cool because of its uniqueness. And it's talked about right here, and I've shown this before in an earlier video, that the here, what are the rarest Star cards? And it talks about that the Bob Lanier Arena card, and show that right here. So when the only one up on eBay as a fairly ridiculous $45,000, but if you get that, hats off to you. That's the only one on this one. Comes up pretty rarely too, and my guess is this is, for as rare as this comes up, this is probably skyrocketed in price as well. Disclosure, of course, I have one. I picked up one a long time ago, but that's just been happening with the Star. The demand is there now, and then people are chasing the rare stuff as I am. So showing that as a listing on eBay, and then you do see this is shown at error and talked about in a second. This is the Bob Lanier Marquez Johnson error, but there's for a rare card, it's pretty available just for a fairly high price for kind of like I don't want to say not a nothing card, but it's not a chase card, but it is a rare card in an error, so it becomes a chase. So it says that might be the rarest, but it says right here, the 8485 no number Moncrief sample is also very rare and seen so infrequently that is often forgotten. So that's kind of the only line that I can find anywhere, about this one. And it's just kind of cool. It's kind of down in, call it down in Star lore. It's just really cool to see these kind of cards that do exist and the chase is on. So my guess is this is going to keep going up. And I know there's a couple people that have multiple of these cards. And when I say multiple, I mean like, 3 to 5, we're not talking a lot, but they do have them and they keep them, but they are hard to get. So the demand is definitely going there. So anyway, I just wanted to show these off and show off some of the others and just kind of what my interest in these rare cards. And, it's just, really cool that they're showing or that you can pick up some of these rare ones that you don't see very often. You definitely don't see them at shows. So, but this is kind of the stuff that I like to pick up and find or trade it. It's really really cool to see the rare items. Anyway, hope you liked, and I will see you at the next video.